How many of you have ever felt nervous, scared, even paralyzed on your first day of work? In a new company, in a new place, with new people, you don't want to embarrass yourself. Maybe you read something about the company on the website and you nodded your way through the job interview. But do you really know what this place is about and what makes it tick? My name is Bart Farrell, and I'm the talent manager of Ve Global Bilbao. And today, I want to share with you some observations I've made over the years and 7 practical tips to keep in mind when you are dealing with the induction process. Well, part of those things are good practices to have in mind when you are joining a new place. Your employer should also be taking some steps to make that process as comfortable as possible. A lot of these things might sound like common sense, but it's a known fact that common sense is not so common. So first things first. You only get to make one first impression, so you better make it a good one. There's nothing more difficult than missing a great opportunity to connect well with a new employee. The first few days in a company can set the tone for the kind of involvement a person will have. The actions you take or don't take in the induction process will establish a line of communication for unspoken messages being transmitted to employees about their importance to the company. So how can you do this? Create a plan. It doesn't have to be perfect or written in stone, but get some of your employees together to write down a strategy for how to incorporate people. To do this better, I cannot stress the importance of clarity enough. We all know what people say about assumptions, but it's almost frightening the frequency with which we pass over things thinking that someone else will naturally understand something only because we do already. To make sure that you are being clear, think about how you can gamify the induction process with quizzes and rewards for the new employee as they go through it with you. Now, let's move on to our next tip. To make sure that new employees get a chance to meet their coworkers, share the induction responsibilities with a team so employees get to meet people outside their department and with different levels of authority and experience. The welcome team can show them the ropes, answer commonly asked questions, and make sure they feel included right away. This can be done easily by sitting down for a few minutes to find out about the person, what they studied, what they like to do in their free time, what they hope to do in their new position, and what other professional experiences they have that make them fit for this new job. Sometimes it's a good idea to take people outside the office for a coffee so they don't feel the pressure some people do inside. Some companies, like ours, also have an initiation ritual, like having the new employee dance or sing in front of the rest of the office as a way of bonding through a common experience and having a good laugh. It can also be helpful to put the new joiners in the welcoming committee once they've finished so they can help other people go through the same process they have just completed. Sometimes we worry that the information we are transmitting can be too basic. However, I found that you can rarely be too clear. With that in mind, new employees should know where they are, as every office has its unique aspects that might not be so obvious to a newcomer. What are the opening and closing hours of the office? What about the physical layout of the place? Where are the coffee machines? How do they work? Is there a lunch delivery service? Where are the emergency exits? And most importantly, where are the toilets? People should also be told what kind of equipment they will be working with, as well as an introduction to the IT people who will help them get used to the kind of equipment they will be using when they need it. Remember that giving a quick quiz at the end to give the new employee points or a prize is a great way to make the experience more enjoyable. Taking that idea a bit deeper, all employees should know where they are in the sense of how old the company is, who started it, basic financial information, if they are a multinational, where they work in the world. Also, it can be a bit tricky to know the chain of command when you join a company, so give new joiners access to an organization chart to show them exactly who they are working with, who their immediate managers are, or who their employees are if they are going to be managing. Another crucial thing that needs to be shared with new employees, and probably in the hiring process when they sign their contract, is their job title and description. Simply knowing that you are a systems administrator, recruiter, or quality control officer can be a bit vague, as many companies may need employees to perform tasks that don't fall inside a traditional job role. It is in the company's best interest to show their expectations to the employee, and the employee's best interest to know what they have to do and don't have to do so that they don't end up doing other people's work, which can cause conflicts. This will also become very later on in the salary reviews if employees gain or lose responsibilities. It's a way to provide both transparency and accountability from the very beginning. You will probably want to sit down and read it together to double check that everything is 100% clear. Most companies have their mission, vision, and values posted on their website, but frequently that's about as far as they get in terms of explaining and transmitting them to their employees and making them a part of it. It's not enough to give employees a list of what these things are, but show them how they are made alive inside the company through reminders, posters, regular staff meetings, or other aspects of the company's culture. Moving on to the next point regarding CSR or corporate social responsibility, if the company values community service, then show the new employees how you volunteer with a local NGO once a month, or donate food over the holiday season. Also let people know how they can stay on top of all the different things happening inside the office through newsletters, monthly updates, and any other activities that employees might do, like birthdays, excursions, events, team buildings, etc. Induction might seem like it only lasts the first few days, but it should really be over the course of a few months. Check in with new employees by giving them small objectives to achieve during their first few months and make sure those goals are celebrated once they are reached to make them feel that their work is being noticed and that they are successfully integrating into the team. Also take advantage of the first few months to ask them if there is anything you can do better in the onboarding process through one-to-one meetings. Doing surveys can be another way to get metrics to see how you are performing over time and to see what kind of improvements you might need to make. Here's a short recap of the points I've talked about during the presentation. Make sure to be extremely clear with the new employees. Get feedback from them and double check to be absolutely sure that they are understanding each part of the process. Next, make sure that you involve a team of people to get them on board and make them feel comfortable in the new company. After that, give them an overview where everything is inside the office. Give them an explanation of the company's history and the major people involved. Later, clarify with them what their job is going to be, what is expected from them, and where their role is situated inside the company, as well as the future possibilities will have as their career progresses. Then, speak about the company's culture. What makes it unique? Think about the things that other employees like that give the company's brand its specific character. Now, I know the theory is always easier than the practice, but a way to make this much simpler on the company side of things is to have an induction checklist with all these items in a calendar so things can be done in an orderly manner that won't be too overwhelming for the new joiners. Taking the extra time in induction expedites the integration process for new employees, making them a part of a team, showing them how the company cares about their well-being and the relevance the role they play as they become woven into the company's fabric. So how can you do this better in your company? How would you describe your induction process, and what could you do to improve it? And that's it. Thanks so much for your time. Feel free to reach out either by email or on LinkedIn, as I'm always open to meeting new people with new ideas and collaborations. So don't be a stranger. Take care.